Hello and welcome to Eccleston Piano. In this short video I'm going to think about a strategy for how to approach a piece of music, and this is really a strategy for almost any piece of music. You really need a two-pronged approach. On the one hand, getting to know the page, that's getting familiar with the scribbles on the page unless you're improvising. But in my experience, most pupils are actually going to be relying on something that somebody else has composed. So this is our current Associated Board Grade 1 exam piece called Dragonflies. Okay, so the first strategy is get to know the page, work out what the notes are, what are the fingerings that will work for you. But there's another strategy which can back this up, which is memorising. Now, in my experience, very few pupils can memorise a piece of this length. It's over 20 bars long. Now, for some pupils it can take weeks and weeks, if not months, in order to get to a point where they can say, I've got this piece memorised. But actually, before they reach that stage, before they can play the piece without the book in front of them, to a large extent they have memorised the piece already. However, for most pupils, they don't have the confidence necessarily to play the piece in an exam, for example, without the book in front of them. So they need that two-pronged approach. On the one hand, knowing the page well, knowing your roadmap, but also having the piece memorised. So the two strategies are working together. If you're in an exam, you may find that although you thought you had the piece memorised, you may have a memory lapse, in which case you can look up at the page. So I strongly recommend you to have these two approaches. On the one hand, getting to know the page, so if there is a memory lapse, you can look up at the page and make sure that you are on the right track, but also working at memorising the piece so that it really sinks in well, so you're not too dependent on having to look at the page.